G'day guys, my name is Lord Tomo and welcome to a comic haul, or Lord Tomo's comic haul, whatever you want to call it, which is hopefully going to be one of many that I'm going to make throughout the year, if not make this more of a continuous thing for those who more or less follow my channels. I know predominantly I do Sonic reviews with miscellaneous little things here and there, but I'm going to incorporate comics as that's also another little thing that I'm currently into as well, so you guys can more or less see what I'm into or what I collect and my 2 cents worth of the actual, industry or comic, whatever I'm reading. So this is going to be the first of many. I go to my local comic store, which is in Liverpool, New South Wales, here in Sydney, Australia. Of course, if you don't live here, I'm sure you have many other ones in your area. The ones I go to is called the Comic Shop. That's their, website, and that's their contact number. So definitely check them out and let me know. That's obviously Sonic, because that's what he does. The first that I purchased is a Street Fighter, or Super Street Fighter Volume 1, the new generation. This is not a compilation book. I know they have made a compilation book out of this, but this is more or less kind of like a standalone one-shot sort of piece, which has, hopefully if I can show you, which has various different arts and all that sort of stuff. Essentially, they're kind of like mini stories incorporated into one that follows through, suit to the actual Street Fighter universe. Street Fighter, granted, I am really bad at the actual game itself. However, I'm trying to get better as time goes on. But essentially, I do like the lore, I do like the universe, and I do like the general aspect of this universe. I have purchased all the original comics. As far as I'm aware, this is just another kind of addition to the actual thing. So that's one of them. What else we have here? We have Suicide Risk. I'm going to put this guy aside just for now. Alright, just put him there. Suicide Risk. Interesting little, I guess, comic. It's from Boom Studios, if you haven't already checked on the bottom. Essentially, it's kind of a superpower-esque sort of theme, whereby their powers are granted to them by this kind of mystical rod. I forgot what it's called. Essentially, what happens is they get granted powers. It's just a cop that wants to, grab the ability to stop the super villains destroying his city, and then he pretty much branches off to a subplot where he's the reincarnated version of a god of some sorts. So there's that. Now, for those of you who don't know this is Skull and Kicker. I highly recommend this. This is extremely exceptional comedic. It's pretty much kind of, it's a throwback to you could say Lord of the Rings, but what makes these ones unique, it's you have literally a dwarf and kind of a humanoid, human, bulky sort of human. That's what I'm guessing that's what you call it, and they go through these misadventures and all that sort of stuff. I really see this as being hopefully, who knows what happens, hopefully a TV series. Extremely funny. The dialogue, the animation is absolutely superb. I've never, that's probably one of the things that I exceptionally like it. Skull and Kicker, very comedic, very hilarious. I love the art style. Image is a company that I more or less tend to follow a lot, simply because they tend to branch off the unsupernatural stuff that is the DC and Marvel. Not to say that they're bad, they're just, yeah. This is another one, Skull and Kicker. Awesome, superb. That's awesome. Now, this one's quite interesting. It's called Morning Glories. Now, the backstories of this, the original creators were planning on making this. There's talks of a possible TV series. I really do think this would really do well as a TV series, but essentially it's going to be 100 comics in total, as until further notice, and it's a bunch of intellectual kids, or kids with different, I guess, gifts. You can go into this academy called Morning Glories, and it goes into crazy depths in the sense that it deals with supernatural powers as well, but time travels, paradoxes. It's what I particularly like about Morning Glories, for those who like to back read comics. You know how sometimes one comic will say, oh, please refer to issue 1 or issue 5 or whatever. This, you have to pay close attention, because a comic, this is number, what number is this? 39. This is 39. So this could make reference to issue 1 or 5, and there's just like clues in every single panel. This is exceptionally well done. I highly recommend it if you like your mystery, your thriller, that sort of stuff. It isn't action-packed in the sense of crazy supernatural powers. The art style is superb, but it is interesting. That makes you really think. It makes you constantly flip back and forth different, comics, which I think is awesome. This is another Skull Kicker. It's been a month since I went there. This one's interesting. This is Chew. Now, Chew is another of those comics. I cannot recommend this more than enough. I completely saw this by chance. I think it was a year ago, and I started in issue 20 or something like that. Essentially, I didn't think too much of it, but when I started to read up on a bit on the Wikipedia and picked up the comic, it does so well in terms of the storyline. Essentially, different people have different abilities provided of what they, for example, one person can eat chocolate, he can create chocolate handguns. A person can eat just drink wine, for instance, and will have the ability to see in the future. So different abilities. It follows through the main protagonist, and it just goes beyond, they're extremely comedic. That's what I like it. The art style isn't that bad as well, for those of you who are into this sort of style. Essentially, I recommend this for those who do like a comedic flavor, but also a level of, this is going to look interesting. Very, very, very weird. This is going to be interesting a lot. So yeah, this is definitely going to be something interesting. So I recommend for those people who like a bit of humor, but with an interesting blend of superpowers. So yeah, definitely recommend this. This is True Revival. I think this is going to be like a sub-series of sorts. But yeah. So this is Suicide Risk. You already know my 2 takes on it. Fallen Skies. Recommend this TV series. What do we have here? Another Suicide Risk. 16. Here we go. This is one of many Marvel comics that I do follow. This is the Iron Fist, the Immortal Iron Fist. Now, he's kind of like Batman. He's kind of a billionaire, and he got his power through supervillains and all that sort of stuff. Why I particularly like this guy, I don't know. I just connected with him. Don't get me wrong, I like Batman and all that sort of stuff. I don't really follow Batman as much as I would like to. But the Iron Fist, I've always had a thing with Jackie Chan, martial arts and all sort of this, and this guy's powers is more or less very super fast, very strong and all that sort of stuff. But essentially it deals with, him trying to find his inner demon and what sort of, depending on which canon and what that sort of stuff. He's made cameos on the Ultimate, what was it? Capcom vs. Marvel Ultimate and all that sort of stuff, so yeah, it's not bad. Pretty awesome. Also throw the Blue Beetle, but they've axed that canon. Here's another one, Iron Fist. Put this aside. Here's another one, the Iron Fist. It looks like they're definitely going to go far with this series. I love it. The art styles is a bit nifty on my side, but that's to be expected. Suicide Risk, another one. Not bad, not bad. June Rising. This is from a company by the IDW, published by IDW. This deals with something I've never seen before. You can check out my overall story arc about this. This deals with genie, and how genies were once the rulers of humanity, then they were encapsulated into lamps, and for thousands of years they've been, forgotten, and now they're just coming back. And you have a dark force known as the Kuribri, who are trying to destroy humanity, not because they hate humanity, but that's their sort of take on things. They just conquer and destroy universes, and you have different characters who have different genies, and they have different abilities. So these are superb. The style is absolutely awesome. I really hope they make this into a game. I see this as potential. There's no word of it as far as I'm aware, and yeah, Powerpuff Girls, not a fan of that. But yeah, they do. Not this, but IDW publish, Transformers and all sort of stuff. Highly recommend this. This deals with genies and in a modern take, and it really expands the universe of what genies possibly can be. You can't go wrong with that. This one I just picked up. It's from IDW. I don't know too much about it. This is called Rouge Trooper. I picked up issue number 1. My guessing he's an undead hero that destroys things. I just flicked through a few pages. I really didn't look into it. I'll probably do a kind of a one-shot, overcap of this. But yeah, recommend it. Well, I wouldn't recommend it yet, but it looks pretty interesting. I've obviously been a Sonic fan. I obviously pick anything and everything related to Sonic. This is Sonic Superstar number 11. I hate this because it's so not collector friendly. It's so hard to put in storage and boxes and all that sort of stuff. But as far as I'm aware, it just does like recap stories, and all that sort of stuff. I'm not a major fan of this one-shot sort of stuff, but the cover itself sells me. Very fluorescent. So yeah, there's that. Let's see what else we have. This is something else new I picked up today. I like to pick different ones just to see what's out there. This is Devil Virgil. As far as I'm aware, it looks like a one-shot piece, or it looks like issue 1. Company by the name of Top Cow. I think the publication is Image. I think he deals with supernatural. What sold me initially, to be honest, was just the art style. I picked this up. I'll suss it out, see how it is. The art style itself isn't that bad. I don't know too much about it. I'll more or less have a rate on it and give you my take on it if you guys recommend it. Revenge. Okay, this is this is messed up. Essentially, this guy is I think, what's the word? He was once an actor. He's now old, and he mistreated his girlfriend or something, and they ripped off his skin. Now he's becoming a mass murderer of some sorts. And yeah, this is for mature readers. I highly recommend it. For kids, I don't recommend it. It deals with a lot of gore, nudity, swearing, and that sort of stuff. That's why they say it's mature readers only. Yeah, so for those of people who are like, this guy doesn't have any superpowers other than the fact that he's just fueled by rage because he's been, taken advantage of, and he's getting his revenge. Lost the title. 10 grand. Very interesting, to be honest. This is from Image, publication Image, and Joe's Comics. This deals with a guy who, just to spend, I think it was a minute or something, I'm not 100% sure, just to spend about a minute his time with his deceased wife. He has given his soul to work on behalf of the angels to destroy demons and that sort of stuff. But there's more to it as the comic progresses. So you can definitely check it out. 10 grand, it just pays homage to the fact that anybody who wants to hire him, they need to fork out 10 grand as kind of like a starting series sort of aspect. So you have him fighting a whole bunch of demons. The art style tends to bounce back and forth depending on which issue it is. They do with a lot of artists, but for the most part, it doesn't look that bad. That's obviously his wife and all that sort of stuff. My guess is, I haven't read this comic, but my guess is it's going to get to a stage where they're just manipulating this poor guy to do his bidding. Of course, Sonic. Very fun comic. I don't know. This one in particular, the storyline tends to... It's weird. That's all I can say. It's weird. You have Sonic again. Sonic Universe, Sonic versus Knuckle variant. I like these sort of things. I like when Knuckles and Sonic kind of, I'm pretty sure they're gonna become super at one stage. I certainly hope so. Oh, it looks like they're versing Chaos. What do you know? Look, Sonic Universe, it deals with mundane sort of topics in the sense that it's not bad. It's just don't think it's going to have a captivating storyline. It's pretty straightforward. It's not designed for adults in particular, but it is, obviously I'm a Sonic fan, so it's always great to have that sort of stuff in my collection. Spawn, I cannot speak highly of this series. This deals with heaven, this deals with hell, this deals with the afterlife, this deals with, is God really truly good and is Satan truly evil. The storyline has progressed a lot since then, from, it's Jim Downey is the current guy who is now running the suit of Spawn, but as it turns out, the Spawn costume itself is trying to control him, and there's forces of good and forces of bad trying to use him as a pawn. Al Simon, the original guy who had the host, is kind of manipulating his mind in a way. So there's a whole lot of what ifs, what's happening. It looks like there's going to be another war of sorts, but who knows. The art style is extremely grim. This isn't heavily action orientated, which isn't bad, but it is extremely captivating in both the art style and text. So there's a lot of rating in comparison, in my experience, to a lot of other comics, but it's definitely worth checking out if you're into the dark and gruesome and just an alternate take on heaven and hell. It deals with a lot of subplots, of course, and other sort of stuff. But as you can probably tell by these pictures, it is pretty gruesome. It's not as gruesome as Revenge, but it is something you can check out. Sonic Universe. Here we go. Can't go wrong with Sonic. He's true. Just a perfect take on humor. Love it. Here's a little fun fact. All these creatures that have cybernetic eyes, they're actual psychics of agents. Why? Don't know. Some of them have snakes, beavers, bears. I know one has a rooster, Boyle. Oh, that is just hilarious. If they made this into a TV series or something, I would love it. Sonic Universe. The same old, same old. What do we have? Spawn. Awesome. Can't go wrong with Spawn. Love that series. Sonic the Hedgehog. And you have Spawn, essentially. So Spawn is another decent, comic. Like I said, follow through if you actually enjoy it. This is Sonic Universe, not bad, love it. It does its duties. I picked up some extras of these. This is, I'll show you, of course. This is Mega Man X from Free Comic Book Day, and if you flip it around, it just has Sonic the Hedgehog. I'm probably going to give these away as a competition that I'm going to be announcing very shortly after this video, or not this video, but another separate video. So yeah, definitely check that out. So these are ones I got for free. This is just another free Street Fighter, which is awesome. I absolutely love Street Fighter. So this is kind of like from Free Comic Book Day. It more or less advertises other stuff. I have supplies because supplies are awesome, and just some backing boards. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for checking out this comic haul video. Of course, if you want to check out more, leave a comment. Let me know if you keen on these. If not, I'll just make this into a weekly, monthly thing, just to let you know what I picked up from my local comic shop. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for checking out this video. Remember to obviously check out more vids. And anyway, take care, speed on, peace.